The Battlefront Network, giving you your daily dose of Battlefront content.
The official Alliance Podcast. The Alliance Podcast. By the community, for the community. Brought to you by the Battlefront Network.
Hello guys, this is the Battlefront Network here, and we are back for a new type of video, and it is going to be our podcast series, which we are calling the Alliance Podcast, Accept No Imitations. This is the official Alliance Podcast, brought to you by the Battlefront Network. I am your host, Carbon Shadow, and I'm here with everybody else. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Hi!
Hello.
So I'm here with Tom, I'm here with Nolan, I'm here with Django, and I'm here with Raphael. We've all got together, we're all here, because that doesn't normally happen very regularly. And we're going to talk about stuff today. We're going to round up everything Battlefront that has happened in the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to throw it over to our editor-in-chief, Tom, and he can take it away. Go for it, Tom.
Hello, my name is Tom. So this is obviously the Alliance podcast, and it's been very, very interesting since the actual reveal from the Anaheim celebration event that Johnny was very lucky enough to go to. Yeah, and we did get actually quite a lot of news regarding the game, because these past 2 years since the game was announced to be in development by DICE, we have received basically nothing about it. So it was really nice to actually get some information finally about the game.
Hey, we did get a little like sexy teaser trailer on Hoth. That was cool.
Well, yeah, but
that was cool. I mean, if that didn't get people excited, I don't know what did, because that was pretty, man. I mean,
I think that was purely just to get excited.
It was. I change my underwear afterwards.
That was the ticket for the hype train that has been Battlefront. Anyway, go on.
That was the beginning of it.
Yes, and then they brought out that little mini documentary, E3 2014. And it was quite insightful. It was nice, but it wasn't anything to get overly excited about. It just meant, we're the developers, we're here, and we're making the game known. We're just reminding you that we are making this game. We promise we are still making it.
We promise.
Because we haven't said anything about it for a year, so we thought, we'll throw out a little documentary, make sure everyone knows we're actually working on the game and not sitting there eating chimichangas or whatever. And then, in Anaheim, we got a lot of information. I'll run over what I saw. What else did you have to say, Tom?
Well, on the news side of things, obviously the community's been split in two.
Oh God!
Like.
Don't even start. Nolan has a lot to say about this.
Yep.
Nolan has a lot to say about this.
Okay, I'll leave it there.
We will talk about how the community's been split, and we'll talk about our opinions, and we'll let Nolan rant for about. I'm giving you 3 minutes, Nolan. You've got 3 minutes to rant, and that's all I'm giving you.
Damn.
So whatever you can get down in 3 minutes, that's good. But we'll do that later on. We will cover that later on. Yeah, you can F and blind as much as you want, mate. That's totally fine. But we will have Nolan's rant later on in the podcast. For now, we are going to cover some news. But before we do that, me and Nolan are going to talk about future plans. So, as you all know, me and Nolan have started a Wishlist Wednesday series, which is obviously every Wednesday. And Nolan, do you want to tell the audience a little more about that one?
Well, Wishlist Wednesday, if you didn't know already, is basically a series that Johnny and I do every week, where we take some comments from the previous week's episode, or previous weeks in general's episodes, like anything. At some point I plan to take one a year before, and we say how much we think, like, we talk about the idea, we talk about the likelihood of it being in the Battlefront game, and we give it a rating on the Force scale.
Yes, the Force scale, which,
Foreskin.
It's funny. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, there we go. First joke of the day. Foreskin. But the thing is that we made this foreskin and then realised when we were recording week 2 that we'd completely forgotten it. We'd completely forgotten what the foreskin was.
And so we never really introduced it in the video.
No,
so
we didn't.
In that
we
first
didn't
episode, people were probably so confused as to what this foreskin was.
So I think we'll have to introduce the foreskin at the start of the next episode of Wishlist Wednesdays, because, I don't think people know what's going on with that. But it's
I was quite surprised.
It's good because it's got the community talking, it's got the subscribers more involved. And what did YouTube tell us? we got on that first video, Nolan? Was it more comments than any of our other videos in the past 6 months?
Oh dear.
Something like that.
Something like that. So
It was probably from all of our replies, though.
Yeah, that's true. But we were constantly in contact with the community over the week, and it's nice to be able to talk to them about ideas and topics, and it's nice to be able to discuss them in the video. So yeah, that's a nice, interesting series. There is more stuff coming, but that is what we've got at the moment. We will be doing some Let's Plays, hopefully, later on in the year. I think that's an idea we came up with. We may have a challenge series where you guys create challenges for us to do. They're going to be video game. They're going to be video game related, so it could be like
for Tom, they can be fitness related.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but they will mostly be video game related, and you can just give us challenges to do in video games, and we'll see if we can do them. It could be something like, I don't know, doing a 360 no scope with a sniper in Battlefront whilst falling to your death or something like that. I don't know, something ridiculous like that. But that will let you know when that series is going to happen. There is a very, very explicit series coming down the line. We're not going to tell you what it is yet, but me and Nolan have something very special lined up for that. Basically, if you guys are morally sound, you probably won't want to watch this series, but it will be a laugh and it'll be hilarious.
It'll be a hoot and a half.
It will be a hoot and a half. Yeah, so that's that, and I don't think there are any other new series coming along. Of course, Tom will continue his news roundups that he does. Yep. We may actually have a weekly news roundup to round up all the news that's happened that week.
We do have one thing. We have what will be known to you guys for right now as Project X, which just went into development probably within the last few days, and it is going to be an incredibly awesome project that we're going to be working on for years to come, probably. But that won't be ready for months still. But
no, it won't
be
ready for months. Hopefully the first installment of Project X, I hope that doesn't give too much away, but the first installment of Project X should come out around the time Battlefront releases. So, yeah.
It's a sex tape.
You weren't supposed to tell them, Nolan! But yeah, in the way of future plans, we have a lot of things planned for the channel, and Tom's very excited about all of this. Because, of course, he started up this channel by himself about a year ago now. It's been a year and 5 months-ish. And it's come a long way, and we just want to thank you guys for being a part of this. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers. Hell, by the time this podcast goes out, we probably will be on 6,000 subscribers. We just want to thank you guys for being awesome. We love you, don't we, guys? We love them, don't we?
I love you too much.
Yeah, we love you guys, and we wouldn't be doing this without you. It's you guys that keep us going. Well, obviously it's Battlefront as well, but it's mainly you guys.
The devil keeps me going.
Okay, so we are going to go back straight into our new segment. Tom, take it away.
Well, what we know so far is that the date of the release date of the game is November 17th in North America. I said that right this time because I said the USA last time, so sorry about that. November 19th for Europe and November 20th for the United Kingdom.
Why do we have to wait 3 days?
Because we do.
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
It's stupid. With the Avengers, I mean, we had to wait for a week, so.
Oh well.
Yeah, well, that's because but fine. I'll concede. I'll concede that. Fine. At least Star Wars: The Force Awakens is going to be released on the same day worldwide. I think, which would be awesome. Anyway,
What was that?
I have no idea. But yeah, who's got their Skype sounds on? Who's being unprofessional?
I think it's, I don't know, one of the naughty people.
Put your Skype on Do Not Disturb.
Do not disturb.
And Nolan, could you stop typing penis in the Skype chat? Anyway,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Welcome
back to the topic in hand. The release date.
So unfortunately, for all of you who own an Xbox 360, a PS3, you won't be able to actually play Star Wars Battlefront.
And a Nintendo 64, and a GameCube, and a Nintendo Wii, and a Game Boy Advance.
I can't play it on my Atari 2600?
And a PlayStation P. And
those graphics.
And a PlayStation Vita.
PS2.
And the Windows 95 PC.
The iStone.
And the iPhone, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's get a mobile version of Battlefront. Yeah. That'd be amazing. Anyway, go on.
So, the game will be only available on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. So, it's not going to actually be held back by old gen. So, Frostbite 3 can be pushed to its limits and provide us awesomeness from what we've seen in the reveal trailer and the in-game engine screenshots he's shown us. It looks amazing, so we cannot wait to see that. It's going to be perfect.
I'm going to jump in here right now. Seeing as we've had a load of screenshots out there, what has been everyone's favourite screenshot? Because there are a load to pick one. There are a load to pick from, sorry. So, who, let's just run through everyone. Favourite screenshots, guys. Let's start with you, Tom. You got favourite screenshot?
The most recent one, which was revealed, was the ATST one, and that's the one I like. That shows the Endor, in-game.
That one is pretty cool. What about you, Nolan? Favorite screenshot?
Skip me. I'll be right back.
Okay. What about you, Django? Your favorite screenshot?
Man, jeez, there's a lot of them. I'd have to say the X-wing.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. Yeah,
that was pretty badass.
What about you, Raphael?
I would have to say the Solist one with all of the lava sprinkling.
Okay, so are we talking this one with the lava and the stormtrooper, or the one with the TIE fighters?
The stormtrooper.
Okay, that one's pretty cool. So I'm going to go for the other side of the fence, and I'm going to go with the Solace screenshot, but with the TIE fighters, because I think that looks badass. That was released on May the 4th, and I just thought that was really cool. It was a really cool release. It was just like, let's tell people a bit more about Solace, because most people don't know shit about Solace because they don't give a shit about the EU. Unlike most of us here, because we do care about the EU. We love the EU, don't we, Django?
Yes, we do.
Alright, so my favorite screenshot, I had to go because I completely blanked on all the screenshots, so I had to Google the screenshots. But the one I'm going to say
Nolan,
is the Hoth one, where the snow speeders are speeding towards the AT-AT, just because the level of detail that's put into all this, and it looks pretty cool. It looks like you're watching a scene from the movie, except even more highly detailed.
That is pretty cool. I like the key art as well. The art they've got for the front art cover for the case.
That's
the
really
box
interesting.
art. It looks really cool. I like the fact they picked Solace over anything else. It's a planet we haven't seen, so it means when people walk into the shops, they're going to see something which looks new.
Yeah, exactly.
It's slightly deceiving because we are going to have Tatooine, Hoth, and it does look a lot like Hoth at first glance, but it is actually Solace. We thought it was Hoth at first glance when I was at Star Wars Celebration, and after looking at it again, I was like, no, that's Solace.
There's lava on it.
I thought it was Mustafar.
A lot of people were saying Mustafar, and I was like, well, don't think
I even said that in the video. I was like, this is Mustafar. I was like, no, it's not.
Don't think we're gonna. When did I say Mustafar? Who said it was Mustafar?
I did.
Oh right, I remember that.
Yeah.
And the thing is that I was like, well, not likely to be Mustafar because I don't think we're going to see any prequel era stuff in there. And Mustafar's a prequel era planet, so I was thinking, that's got to be something. Maybe Solace? I don't know. Possibly, and I was right. But one thing that did come up at Celebration, I was talking with a mate of mine I travelled with, and he said that he thought the AT-AT was actually red. He thought it was actually slightly red, and I was like, dude, look again. That's lighting from the lava. You use your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Use your eyes. It's lighting from the lava. But he mistook it for a red AT-AT, which, to be fair, an AT-AT with a red decal on it would be freaking awesome. But I was like, no, that's lighting from the lava. Anyway, where were we? We diversed a bit. We were on screenshots, and I think, what are we moving on to now?
Well, the game is being released as a standard and also a deluxe edition.
Oh god, don't get started on this deluxe edition. This deluxe edition comes with extra stuff. To be fair, we're going to play the game enough. We're going to have this by the second or third day of playing the game. So the deluxe edition is not even... It's not even an option. I mean, if they bring out a limited edition or a collector's edition, that is an option. It's probably going to empty our wallets completely, but...
you know, take my Republic
the fact that the fact that the actual since we're in 2015 and that Battlefront 2 was released in 2005, so it's 10 years after, I was expecting them to actually make like a 10-year anniversary type.
Yeah, like a centenary. Is it? No, it's not centenary. It's a Decadian edition. Decadian edition or something like that. Something weird. But yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, you'd expect them to, if they did bring out a limited edition, for it to be like a 10-year anniversary thing. I think that.
But with actual exclusives in it.
Yes, yeah. Not stuff you're gonna unlock after like 30 hours of playtime, which we'll rack up in the first 2 days, and we probably won't sleep when we get this game.
Wait, you want to know what I think's funny about that though?
Go on.
If they would have released like downloadable things for the deluxe edition that were exclusive to the deluxe edition and you couldn't unlock in the game, we would still be bitching about that, about how you need to buy the deluxe edition or you don't get this stuff. So we really did put dice in a hard place, because they've done the exclusives with deluxe editions before and they get yelled at for it and everyone hates them for it, and then they do one that's not exclusive and we still hate them for it. They just can't win.
That's true. I'd say, yeah, you can't win. You've got to either make a bold decision or make a safe decision, and I think they've gone with a safe decision here.
Taking baby steps.
Yeah, exactly. I'd much rather we see, maybe if they do bring out a limited edition, I'd much rather see exclusive stuff to that limited edition, because I mean, if you're paying £100 to £150, $120 for a limited edition, and it comes with like a really nice statue. Yeah, you're paying for a really nice statue kind of thing, but you should also be paying for exclusive content.
But I think the exclusive content should probably be more aesthetics as opposed to gameplay influencing things.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it could. Well, to be fair, it could be weapons. It could be weapons, or it could be weapon skins. Because we know there's going to be customization involved, which Tom will move on to in a second, but we don't know how or what is going to be customizable within the game. So Tom, why don't you touch upon that, because that is news.
So the customization, well, everyone was expecting that there'd be actually classes like Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, and also the Battlefield series, but there is actually no classes at all, and it's been replaced with customization, so you'll be able to customize your own loadout to your own specifics, and that involves actually changing the gender of your character, so you can be a female stormtrooper, or a female rebel, or a male, or whatever, and also the race of that, so you can choose from what we know so far: a human, a Celestin, or an Ishitip.
Which fun fact, you didn't know what that alien race was. I had to.
No, I didn't.
I had to tell you what the Ishitib were.
I had to turn to Twitter to you.
Yeah, because I let you know on Twitter. It was like, who the hell is this second alien race? I have no idea. I was like, that's the Ishitib.
Well, to be fair, I was expecting it to be the one with the 3 eyes.
No, that's I can't remember what they're called. Django? You? Any idea?
I couldn't tell.
Any ideas? No idea. Yeah, no, I should know. They're from Malastare, aren't they? They're from Malastare, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
Yeah, they're from Malastare, so I don't know what.
Are
I
they
don't know what race
molesters?
they are. Are they molested? Damn it, no. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. But I was gonna make a point. Well, what were we talking about? We were talking about aliens, customization. What do people think about customizable loadouts over a class-based system? What do we think about this?
No. It's just, I don't know, it just like seems more personal.
It does seem more personal. It was included in Renegade Squadron and I think also Elite Squadron. Yeah, you can back us up on that, Raphael, because you're currently doing a playthrough of that on your channel.
Hey.
But so customization has been included in Battlefront, but never for a console version of it. So that's quite interesting in itself.
Isn't this what Call of Duty does?
I was actually just about to
Call
talk
of Duty
about that.
and Battlefield and Call of Duty both do customization. Yeah, go on, Nolan.
So what I was going to say was Battlefield's got the class sets like the old Battlefronts did, and Call of Duty's got the open class sets like this new Battlefront would have. So a better parallel to draw with it rather than Battlefield would be Call of Duty, because that's how the class setup is going to be. And I think I'm going to like that a little bit more, because the customization, you have a lot more of it. There's a lot more possibilities and a lot more combinations you can do. And that's also part of why Call of Duty, in the past, not really in the last few years, has been more successful than Battlefield.
Fair enough. I mean, my argument there is there are only so many guns you can make from the Star Wars universe until you start creating your own guns. And you know that sort of I don't know how many weapons there are going to be in the game, but you'd expect for for a game DICE are making, and for a game that's going to be so heavily customizable as they keep implying, you'd think there would be at least 60 to 100 guns in the game, which is a lot when you think about how many different variants of guns there are in Star Wars itself. There aren't as many as that, I don't think, off the bat. I can't think of that many. There are at least 20 or 25 I know of. I'm not going to list them all now because I don't know them all off the top of my head. But there are at least 25 different kinds of gun and weapon I know of. But I can't think how they do more than that.
Well, if you saw that shield power up in the reveal trailer,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not canon, is it? It's not. I think they've made that up for the game.
I believe they have. So it's going to be.
They could actually make stuff up.
Yeah, that's true. So I think we should look forward to how inventive they're going to be with weapons. I think that's something we should look out for, because if they're going to be inventive and put, like, you know, these personal ray shields in and these these shield things in, then they're definitely being inventive with the IP. Therefore, they're gonna be as inventive as possible with the guns, but still keeping the originality of Star Wars there. But I think it'd be nice to see how many different types of gun they can come up with. But I'm still gonna miss that class-based system, because that was Battlefront at its core.
It's pretty cool. Misplay is the heavy.
The heavy was
Always
good
the
fun.
sniper.
Or the jetpack. Oh.
Yeah. I loved the mod where you could get basically they replaced the I can't remember what it's called, but it's the EMP launcher that the jet trooper has. They replaced that with a sniper rifle. That was the best combination. Being a jetpack trooper with a sniper rifle was the best combination.
Now you can do that.
That was the best. No, it was a mod, and that was the best.
Yeah, but now you can do that in the new Battlefront game.
This is true.
Oh yeah,
This
because
is
you
true.
get jetpacks.
Although
and you can have the sniper rifle.
jetpacks, I believe, will be a power up. That's a cool.
Oh yeah.
That is a cool combination, though. Having a jetpack and a sniper rifle is a cool combination. Although we don't know how elevated levels are going to be. We know that there is the Ewok village in Endor, but apart from that, we don't know how elevated Hoth or Tatooine or Sullust are going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of maps they throw out.
All right, we're really off topic now. Tom, get us back on topic.
We're not that off topic.
Diversion mode. So we talk about customization, but also on multiplayer, a buddy system has been implemented, and this is where you actually join a partner. So there's two people, and they can spawn on each other and share rewards. Now that's really similar to another EA game, which is Medal of Honor Warfighter, which included the same system. And that I'm not sure it was called buddy system. I think it was called something else. But when you spawned, you were assigned to somebody, and you could spawn on them instantly and get straight back into battle. And when they got some rewards, so for example, if you were paired with a really, really good player and you yourself are not that good compared to them, the rewards they get will be given to you, so you can share a lot more stuff. So that's awesome. And I think it's a really cool idea that compared with 5.
Yeah,
squad of 5.
Well, a squad of 5 would have been perfect because there's 5 of us. The thing is, the problem with that for us is that we're going to buddy up with someone, and someone's going to be left out because there are only 5 of us in the Battlefront network. So there are going to be 2 pairs of buddies and one guy left out playing by himself. So
going commando.
Yeah, he is going to go commando, so to speak.
Commando.
So yeah, that's going to be interesting. To be fair, I would have liked it if there was a squad system. If they throw
pretty cool.
If they throw a 5-man squad system in just to please both types of fans, that'd be cool. Maybe the 5-man squad system doesn't get the ability to share all your power-ups. Maybe power-ups are only personal, but at least you get to play as a 5-man squad. Whereas the buddy up system does have all unlockables being shared between the 2 players. But I think having a squad, there's just an air of being able to play the game tactically between 5 people. You know, that's why squads have worked so well over the years, and I'm going to miss that feature, quite frankly.
I think having a squad suits like the rebel faction.
Yeah,
a lot.
I think
it just suits it really well if there was actually in there.
I'm definitely going to miss the fact that there isn't going to be a 5-man squad, because I can't play with all of you guys. I can only play with one of you, which means we have to pick favourites. which is it's not even fair. I'm sorry, but screw you, Dice. You're making us pick favourites. You're making us pick favourite members, and that's not fair. To be fair, I think maybe if you can have a buddy system, I'm not sure how the buddy system works, but I'm assuming it's exclusively one person, because maybe if you can have multiple buddy systems, so you can maybe have up to 3 buddies, but each in a different buddy system, so you get 3 buddy systems, and you can buddy up with one person in each system, but maybe it could work that way. Just that way you get to play with more people and not pick a favourite friend, because it kind of sucks if you've buddied up with one guy and some guy comes along with the game and is like, oh, I just got the game, can I be your buddy? And it's like, yeah, about that.
I would think that they would have some way to change your buddy at some point, because like, what if your buddy dies?
That's true.
Like
no,
in real
I don't.
life.
I mean, changing your buddy, that's fine. But
I mean, I went a little morbid route. I could have said like their PlayStation dies, but
no. I mean, but no, you make a fair point. But the fact you have to pick one exclusive person and say,
what I think it'll be is like one buddy in the match.
No, I don't think it will be in the match. I think it'll be game wide. I think it'll be over the whole game. But yeah, I mean, that's just a little thing I see being that's the only negative I see being about that. That's the only negative I see about the buddy system. The whole sharing things is pretty awesome, because I mean, you know, we're all going to have the game on day one, but say one of our friends comes along,
friends?
Okay, well, somebody we know, or somebody on our Xbox Live list or Steam list, which is too long to recall, and they added us and we accepted because we felt sorry for them. They go out and buy the game, and then they want to buddy up. I think it's cool that you can share your unlockables.
Well, I think the system works like, because it randomly assigns you to, when you go into a match, it will randomly assign you to a player. I don't think you can actually choose like a specific person that you stay with the whole time. Really? Because I thought the buddy system was, from what Nicholas told us when I was at the presentation, it was so that you could actually buddy up with a friend. I think those were Nicholas's specific words, buddy up with a friend. Nicholas, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure it's buddying up with a friend. Maybe if you don't already have a friend, you do get buddied up with someone in the match, but you know, it's a cool system. It's a cool gimmick. It's a cool feature, but I'd much rather have a squad. Yeah, personally. So we'll move on to the next topic, which is there's going to be no aiming down iron sights. That is correct. And you can there'll be scopes on some weapons, so you can aim down the scopes, but you can't aim down iron sights.
To be fair,
because there will be no iron sights.
I don't see this being a negative. What do you guys think? I'm guessing you guys have all got opinions on this.
I was disappointed. I was like one of the biggest people advocating for iron sights in the game, just because, I mean, I don't know if this means you won't be able to aim down sights at all, or if it'll just be like a sight like it was in Battlefront 2, where it's just like a screen when you aim down sights when you don't have a scope. I was kind of disappointed. Like, I don't really like that screen. I'd like to look down the scope of the gun. But I can understand it with them having first and third person view, because half the people aren't even going to look down the iron sights when they aim.
Yeah, that is a fair point. I mean, I tend to look down scope quite a bit when I'm lining up shots, because mostly when I play shooters, take for instance Halo, if I'm playing SWAT, I will be aiming down the scope. I don't think it's a loss to players that there won't be iron sights. I mean, when I play Battlefield, it is a nice addition, but normally I only zoom in when I'm using scopes. I think because there's a third person element in there, aiming down iron sights is not. Or the fact there won't be any aiming down iron sights isn't an issue, because you'll be able to play in third person, and you don't really need to aim down iron sights in third person anyway. You know, when you're in third person, you're just running around doing hectic, chaotic things and killing everyone from the hip. So I'm not going to miss iron sights personally. What about you, Tom?
Well, I think that because it's into the Star Wars universe, and if you look at the stormtroopers, most of them fire from the hip anyway.
Yeah,
so
but that's why they miss.
Well, yeah, I know, but I don't know. I just think because they said they want to be more authentic with the Star Wars universe,
which means if you play as the Empire, you're gonna miss.
Yeah, exactly. But with the Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, like, because you couldn't then aim down iron sights and anything, the sights that worked from there, I don't know. I don't really want to. I won't really miss it, to be honest.
No, I won't miss it. I mean, we talk about Battlefront 1 and 2, but that is 10 years in the past. You have to think about how shooters have evolved from then on. And when you think about games like Halo and Battlefield and Call of Duty, you can aim down iron sights, but I don't think I'm going to miss aiming down iron sights in Battlefront because I don't think it's necessary. What about you, Django? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see it as a big deal. I really don't think it'll hamper the gameplay too much. I think it'll be fine. I don't see it.
What about you, Raphael?
I think like the sights, most of the sights in the game will be like ACOG scopes, like the ones on Call of Duty and Battlefield.
That's a fair point. I mean, I don't see many of the guns in Star Wars actually having ACOG scopes on them or anything like that. So I think they may just be plain old guns which you shoot from the hip. You can't aim down the sight. It's just.
I think they might have like sight attachments.
Possibly.
Yeah, because in the screenshot of the first person, third person view, if you look at the first person,
there's a scope.
The guy's gun has got a scope.
Yeah, but are they both holding the same gun in that view?
I don't know. I didn't check.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll have to look at that a little more in depth. We'll have to do a content teardown video at some point.
Actually, Johnny, didn't you see a gameplay?
I did see a gameplay. It was a very long time ago now. Yes, they did have scopes on some guns. We saw a couple of different guns. We saw a rocket launcher. We saw a sniper rifle. We saw a blaster rifle. We saw a pistol sort of gun, and I think there may or may not have been a burst fire gun in there. I can't see. My memory is terrible, so I'm trying to remember back because this was almost a month ago now.
Wow.
Well, no, it was about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago.
But there was aim down sights.
There was no aim down sights. There was no aim down sights. They aimed in scopes, but there was no aim down sights.
All right.
So there is definitely no aiming down iron sights in the game because there was none in the gameplay I saw. Take into account that this gameplay was pre-alpha and being played on the PS4. So there's obviously still a lot of development to go if they're only showing journalists and people like us pre-alpha gameplay. So there's obviously a lot of development to go from here on in. But I'd say by the time we get to E3, we'll probably be seeing alpha gameplay, if not pre-beta gameplay. At least pre-beta, where it's almost past the point of alpha, and alpha's 70 to 80% complete, and it's literally almost there. Or we will see beta gameplay, which I think would be pretty awesome, because anything advancing on from what I saw, it would be amazing, because what I saw for pre-alpha was it was all there. It seemed like a fully playable game, and I was very impressed by it. Anyway, we shall move on to the next topic, which they didn't talk.
Wait. Actually, speaking of free betas, what do you guys think about open beta before the game releases?
I don't think it'll benefit the game. I don't think it'll benefit the game at all. Yeah, it gives people a chance to get their hands on the game, but I don't think it'll benefit the game at all. The thing is, betas, people look at betas nowadays as ways to play the game before it comes out. That's not what a beta is there for. A beta is there to game test the game, to get the community and the public play testing the game for the developers and sending in bug reports and problems and stuff and critiquing the game. But people just see betas as really, really big early demos now, and that's not what they are. A demo is a demo, a beta is something completely different. So I don't think having an open beta will actually accomplish anything in DICE's eyes. I think they'll keep it all closed. They'll have a closed beta, but I don't think they'll have an open one.
Wouldn't a beta actually affect the production of the game? I don't know much about game production and development, but when they're making a beta, don't they have to get a separate group of people to actually go and develop that?
No. The beta isn't developed separately. So what you've got is an alpha and a beta are different stages of the game development. It's the same game, it's the same team making it, but the alpha stage is well, how to say this? The alpha stage is all the core mechanics in the game. So by the alpha stage, you'll have all the core mechanics in there, and you'll have all the key gameplay features in there that make the game playable. By the time you get to beta, you've got a more polished looking game. You probably have more maps in there, and you'll have more features in there. And by the time the game's actually released, obviously you've got all the features in there, unless you're Battlefield 4 and your game's broken.
Oh dear.
Sorry, DICE, but that was the case. But yeah, so and the point of having an open beta is you have the beta, you have the beta game made, and then you have the public just openly tests it. But the problem is the public go into an open beta thinking, "Yay, really long demo, get to play the game early, woo!" And they don't free games, and they don't give any feedback, which is terrible.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So that's why I don't think an open beta will accomplish anything for DICE. But we've sort of veered off topic here, so I'm going to move back onto topic.
Wait, before that, so I would like to see them do a beta. I would like to see them do what they did last year at E3 with Hardline. Do you guys remember what they did?
Yeah. Nope. I think
at E3 they said, "Hey, you can go download the beta right now."
Yes.
Like during their presentation, that was awesome. And if they did that again, that would be
pretty cool.
Incredible. But they won't do that.
I doubt they're going to do that, simply because Battlefield Hardline is a continuation of an intellectual property which already exists. Battlefront, on the other hand, is a completely new IP for DICE, so I don't think they're going to throw it out to the public that quickly. It's like throwing out, it's like throwing it to the sharks. I don't think they do it that quickly. I think they'll throw it to the critiques when the game goes gold. They'll throw it to the reviewers, the critiques, possibly us. Please, thank you very much.
And plus, they've already got playtests anyway. If you notice on the EA playtest page, they've had like a lot of playtests.
Yeah. So people have playtested the game. I mean, they had an open playtest at Redwood Shores, didn't they?
Yeah.
Which was advertised a couple of weeks before Celebration. So that happened. So they do have people openly testing the game, but I don't think they will do a public beta where the game is downloadable on your console or on your PC. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? Nope. Okay, so let's move on to the next big thing, which this is one thing people seem to be complaining about, and my counter argument is there was never one in Battlefront 1 and 2, and this is the Battlefront missions instead of a traditional campaign. Now, Tom, can you enlighten us on what Battlefront missions are? A little bit?
Battlefront missions are actually like story-driven, independent missions which take you back to the iconic moments that we know and love from the Star Wars universe. So, for example, the Hoth battle and all of those awesome things. So you can play those singularly on your own, or with other people by split screen, and that's only available on consoles. Or you can play it online with other people via multiplayer. That'd be fantastic.
It's also pretty cool. Oh. Sorry, no, I just want to add to the fact that there is going to be a split screen mode.
Yeah, that's great.
For console users, like locally, because like being split screen is essentially the party game mode, right? You sit down with a couple of brewskis with the lads and play the games and get drunk. What, Tom?
I'm joking.
Okay, that aside, Tom's dirtiness aside, yeah. So just sitting down and being able to play split screen with your mates, it's perfect. I mean, obviously you can't do that on a computer, but you tend to find the more hardcore gamer on a computer. So it's Anyway, go on, Tom. You were going to go also.
But there is a DLC which is coming out the 3rd of December for those who pre-order, and the 8th of December for everyone who does pre-order. And that DLC is the Battle of Jakku. Now, that will actually include a mission for these Battlefront missions, which takes you to the Battle of Jakku and tells you the story of how the Star Destroyer, which we saw in the Star Wars 7 trailer, which was crashed on the planet, how that came to be. And the actual event is 1 year after the Battle of the Forest Moon of Endor. So I think it's really interesting that they are actually adding new events that we can find out what happened and experience them, because it's an event that we've never experienced before.
This is true.
Universe. So it's a really cool idea.
Plus, sorry, I want to add in there, if the trailer is anything to go by, and the little snippet at the end with the Star Destroyer crash on the planet is Jakku, and they were teasing Jakku in the teaser trailer, Boba Fett's going to be there. Which is pretty cool, and I'm sure everyone's got opinions on this as well. But Boba Fett on Jakku a year after the Battle of Endor. Now I don't know how close the Battle of Endor happens to Boba Fett getting eaten by the Sarlacc, but you know, let's say it's a straight year. It's a straight year after the Battle of Endor.
What a year!
Do we think that's Boba Fett on Jakku? Could it be Boba Fett on Jakku? And what would he be doing there? Because he's a bounty hunter.
Well, there is a sandcrawler there.
There is a sandcrawler there, but what people have to remember is that Jawas are indigenous species to Tatooine. However, Jawas did migrate to other planets. They're not exclusive to Tatooine. We've only seen them on Tatooine so far, but they do actually migrate to other planets. And Jakku is in the Outer Rim as well as Tatooine. So, because Jakku is a desert planet, are the Jawas indigenous creatures of Jakku? That could be another interesting point there. But I mean, the Sandcrawler does sort of point people into the direction of Tatooine. But
that's
I
what they
don't
want us to think.
Yeah, I think that's what they want us to think, because I don't remember a downed Star Destroyer on Tatooine, and I doubt Tatooine is going to feature in The Force Awakens. I think that's what Jakku's there for. Jakku is our desert planet in The Force Awakens. I'd be very surprised if Tatooine actually makes an appearance in The Force Awakens. So, with that said, is Boba Fett on Jakku? And if he is, how is he a part of that Jakku mission? Because that's pretty awesome. Also, there's got to be more than just a Star Destroyer falling out the sky. There's got to be more to that mission than just a Star Destroyer falling out the sky.
Well, I think the DLC actually does give you a Battlefront mission and 2 extra multiplayer maps on top of the 12 that are being launched with the game.
That's true.
So I think maybe they're doing like a system where you can play as a hero and mix and match which heroes are on which planets.
See, this is what me and Nolan talked about. This is what me and Nolan covered on the recent episode of Wishlist Wednesdays. We did have a little chat about whether heroes are going to be planet specific or whether you're going to be able to play as different heroes on different planets. And Nolan has his own opinion on this one.
I'm the original Battlefront purist in the fact that I want all the heroes to be planet specific, because why would it make sense for Boba Fett to be on Jakku? There's just too many plot holes you can create by making the heroes not planet specific. And I understand that it's just a video game, but there's just that part of me that wants them to be planet specific.
Although I think the whole point of Battlefront is that it's non-canon. Battlefront, because Battlefront 2 gave you the chance to play as rebels and Imperials on planets, which didn't happen in the original trilogy. So the whole point of
didn't happen that we know of, though.
That's true, but I don't know if the Battlefront game is going to be completely canon. I don't know if that's the route they're going down.
I think it's like half and half, because I read that somewhere that like last year that the game is actually the first Star Wars video game to be canon.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure, like, because they are actually adding things in that are non-canon, so it's quite...
Well, no, because Disney are creating
confusing.
their own canon.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, so maybe everything in Battlefront, it will seem to not be canon, but what we've got to realise is things are becoming canon. The further down the line we go, the further down the years we go, there's going to be more canon added to the Star Wars universe, and Django has his own opinions on that one, we know that for sure. So...
Yeah, I won't
Aren't they making a novel for Battlefront, actually?
Well, Django, if you want, I'll give you 3 minutes to rant about canon. I will give you...
Maybe another time.
Ready? Okay.
It'll be too long.
Well, no, you're only allowed 3 minutes. I will cut you off at 3 minutes. But no, if he wants to do that another time, that's fine. That's probably another video for another day. But going back to the whole Battlefront missions thing, yeah, is Boba Fett on Jakku? Post your comments in the description telling me what you think about that one. Tom, go back to the whole Battlefront missions thing, because you were talking about that.
Well, we haven't actually been revealed any more information about it, other than that it will be included in the Battle of Jakku. Will be a mission there, and we'll be seeing iconic moments. But really, the Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 campaigns, if you like, they are basically the same thing, because they aren't really They're just basically objectives on a multiplayer map.
Exactly.
With
what
a few cutscenes.
Yeah,
But
exactly. What they tried to do with Battlefront 1 and 2 is tied together a linear storyline over separate planets, and to an extent it worked, but they really were just little small missions. So I don't see why people are complaining that we're not going to get a campaign. Yes, DICE did have the opportunity to introduce a fully fledged campaign to the Battlefront game, but it's not going to be missed because it was never there in the first place.
Exactly.
So I
want to add that with the second one, at least it was focused on the 501st. That was unlike the first one, which is
in the second one, at least there was some sort of narration.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a linear narrative, but it was still a load of little mini missions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which were essentially conquest missions. When you think about it, with maybe a couple of capture the flag elements or something like that. They were essentially conquest missions. Apart from the Order 66 mission where you did have to kill all the Jedi. That was pretty cool. That was cool. That was fun. So, before we move on from Battlefront missions, seeing as Battlefront missions are supposed to be key moments from the Star Wars universe, what key moments would you guys like to be seen turned into Battlefront missions? We'll start with you, Tom.
Oh, well, I did want to say Order 66, but since the game is only Galactic Civil War and sequel, I can't say that. I don't know. The Battle of Hoth for me, I just want to play that in Frostbite 3, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Bastard, you stole mine.
Oh,
Since you
sorry.
stole that, what I'm going to say is the Death Star run from A New Hope.
Ooh, that'd be an ace
That'd be
mission.
amazing.
The only problem with that is no space battles. I mean, obviously, if the Death
It could
Star
come
run
as a
is,
DLC.
if it's a linear mission, yeah, space battles could come with a DLC. We'll move on to space battles later because, Anyway, but that is a cool key moment. What about you,
Amazing.
Raphael?
The same with Tom, actually, the Battle of Hoth.
There's no other key moments you'd like to see in. There are no other ones.
I'd like to see a key moment where you're R2-D2 and you need to stop the trash compactor.
Yeah, that'd be a great mission. You roll up to the wall and press X. Press X,
and then you have to like unscramble a code.
Wow. Don't give them any ideas.
No, that's gonna be its own game entirely. R2-D2, the video game.
That'd be pretty cool.
I would buy it.
No, so Raphael, any other key moments apart from the Hoth one, or solely
Not
Hoth?
really, unless they're Clone Wars, but we know that Clone Wars not going to be in the game.
What about you, Django?
Cloud City.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a good one.
Oh, he knows
That's a
the
good
one.
I definitely want to see some sort of Cloud City interior map. Going slightly off topic here, if anyone's been following the Star Wars Battlecry development, Battlecry, quickly for you guys, Star Wars Battlecry is a game being made by a small group of people who want to make a game which is basically the spiritual successor to Battlefront 2. And it's looking quite nice. I'll leave a link in the description to the May the 4th trailer they brought out, but they have made a map. And I think it's the only map they've got at the moment, but it is the interior of Cloud City, and it looks very nice. So DICE, please, interior Cloud City map with a carbonite chamber. Yes, please. Yay! Yes, please, very much. Thank you. But that would be cool. Yeah, I think that's a really cool key moment. Is there any particular moment from that you'd like included? Because a lot does happen on Cloud City, Django. So is there a particular moment or?
Well, I did like in Battlefront. I know it's Battlefront 2, but I like the aspect of having to use the X-wings and TIE fighters while the infantry were fighting on the ground too. So hopefully that is maybe implicated in the new one.
That'd be cool. That would be really cool. My key moment. Right, I haven't got much. I haven't been left with much. What would my key moment? What would I want to turn into? What would I want to turn into a mission? Trying to think slightly left field here. What have we got? This isn't easy, guys. You haven't left me with a lot. Yavin 4 would be cool. That would be cool. Maybe a Tantive 4 mission.
Ooh.
A Tantive 4 mission right from the start of A New Hope. because I have to say Tantive 4 was one of my favourite maps from Battlefront 2.
That could work, because it does say that we will have interactions with C-3PO and R2-D2.
Yes, that would work. So maybe I don't know who you'd play as in that mission, but it'd be interesting. You'd probably play as the rebels trying to keep the princess hidden and trying to hold off the Empire, and then when they fail to hold off the Empire, you switch to the Empire, and then you carry on a mission like that. That'd be cool if you play the mission from both sides. So if you have one mission, but you can play it from both sides, so it has two different outcomes, that'd be pretty cool. But that's just another idea. So let's move on from. Are we all done with Battlefront missions, guys?
Indeed.
Okay, let's move on to the next one, which Tom's written down here: limited destruction.
That is correct. So in the game, everyone was expecting, didn't want it to be a Battlefield reskin in the Star Wars universe. But then, when they revealed it, and there's basically hardly anything, apart from a few features here and there that are returning from Battlefield to Battlefront, everyone loses their mind and wonders why. And when questioned about this, one of the developers said that if destruction will be in the game, it's going to be very limited and used only where necessary, because he says that if everywhere is just destructible and you can destroy everything, it won't be very complementary to the Star Wars universe, and it'll be not as good for the game, if you like. So it's quite an interesting move there, and I'm quite pleased they aren't doing that, because I wouldn't really want to see. So, for example, if there was a Tantive IV map, I wouldn't want to see the entire ship and all the walls getting blasted here and there, and there's nothing left. You know what I mean?
That's kind of I'm picturing that in my head, and that just seems really, really ridiculous.
Exactly, yeah.
That seems really stupid.
Blow out the wall.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Minecraft.
So you just need to keep it a little bit.
To be fair, I'd like to, like, on maps like Solist, I'd like to see, like, maybe the ground breaks open. You know, so you've got, like, a lava, like, maybe some of the ground falls in and stuff like that. Just small little things. Things that don't affect the game too much, but change the way the levels are played, change the way the maps are played. You want to change... because after a while, maps are going to feel very samey, so if you can put destructional elements in there which make the map, change slightly, that'd be cool. Also, I want to see the tree trap. I want to see the tree trap from Endor. That's got to happen. That's got to happen. I want to be able to crush an 80-80 between two trunks of tree. That's got to be done. It's got to be done. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else we can say on limited destruction. Is there anything you guys would want to see destruction-wise in the game? Like anything particularly you guys can think of? If we think of the kind of planets and maps we've got so far, is there anything you guys can think of that could be destructible?
See when you destroy a vehicle, like an AT-AT, an AT-ST, an X-Wing, anything like that, when it hits the ground and it gets destroyed and stuff, it stays there as debris, at least for a couple minutes.
Okay, so you don't want everything to turn into a Force Ghost when it dies.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Any other suggestions, guys?
I think on Endor with the trees, maybe at least one or two trees falling down.
That'd be cool. Yeah, because I mean, if you think that AT-ATs could potentially be on Endor in the big conquest modes now, you'd think that trees might be able to fall down.
Ooh, if they do add any verticality to Hoth. Maybe there's an avalanche that happens?
That'd be cool. That's interesting. That is a cool idea. What about Raphael, Django? You guys got any ideas?
Yeah, I was just thinking the trees. Just like Tom.
Yeah, same thing actually.
Okay, so I think we're done for limited destruction, and by the looks of things, there aren't many things left. I think we've got the whole AT-AT on rails thing. So if you want to shed a bit of light on AT-AT on rails, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, Tom, but give us the rundown anyway.
Well, for those who don't understand or maybe not know what that means, if you have played Battlefield 4 or haven't, there's actually an what's it called?
AC-130.
AC-130 that goes around in the sky. Now, you cannot pilot that. That is on a set course. You can only pilot the guns and shoot from the sky. Fixed. So that is what the AT-AT will work like. So the movement will be fixed on a set path. So it will be moving on its own and its own direction, which is set by the game developers at DICE. but you can get in the actual vehicle and control the guns.
Has that been confirmed, Tom?
It has.
It has been confirmed that you can get in an AT-AT and control the guns.
Correct.
That's badass. That's bad. I'm happy with
use
that.
the guns and
That's
use the weapons.
badass. That's really cool. Anyway, go on.
But the other vehicles like the AT-ST, you can actually pilot those and move them around like you could on Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, so that's awesome. All that kind of cool stuff.
Awesome. And then the last thing on this list is maximum online player count of 40 instead of 64. Now, we all have opinions on this. There's not much to say about this, but go on, Tom.
Well, since Battlefield 4 had 64 players and also Battlefront 2 had 64 players, it's quite a surprise that they are reducing it to 40 players in total for multiplayer matches. But since we're working with Frostbite 3 here, and with the level of detail they have achieved, if they were to include 64 players, I think the gameplay and the graphical ability of the game would be affected somewhat because of the amount of players.
I don't think that's the case. I think they've got the processing power to do both at once. I think the reason they've picked 40 is a design choice. It's got nothing to do with the capabilities of the engine. It's a design choice. I think it's gonna make it feel more immersive somehow. I don't know how it's gonna work. I mean, it could all depend on the size of the maps, because I don't think with a maximum online player count of 40, I don't think we're gonna see maps as big as the ones in Battlefield, the Conquest ones. But we will still see quite large maps, but I think less people on the map. To be honest, I can't see a positive or a negative about having 40 players. I'm a bit neutral on this one.
It'd be a lot more fun, really, because if you had like 1 million players, like 64, but all those players running around everywhere, I don't know, it just wouldn't seem very Star Wars.
Chaotic.
So I kind of agree with Johnny in the fact that it's just on how they scale it. So it doesn't matter if it's 20v20 or 32v32. Depending on the scaling of the map, it's still going to feel exactly the same if they scale it right.
Yeah, I agree. Also, one more thing, I haven't mentioned this, but when we bring up online player count, we should also think about reinforcement count. Is there going to be a reinforcement system similar to Battlefront 1 and 2?
Well, Battlefield
that's
had
quite
tickets
interesting.
In some of their game modes.
That's true, they do have tickets. So is it going to work like a ticket-based system, or are they going to carbon copy the reinforcement system from Battlefront 2? That'll be interesting. I think a more interesting point on that is, are you going to be able to create custom servers with custom settings where you can set reinforcement counts and stuff like that? I think that's an interesting point to make as well. Do any of you guys have an opinion on this one? Do you think it'll be included?
I'm also curious on the NPC count as well. Like that's.
I was actually going to touch on that. Is they have a 40 maximum online player count, but that leaves, let's assume the 64 is like industry standard. That's 24 less than industry standard. Are those extra 24 going to be AI maybe?
Yeah, that is a good point.
And like maybe those don't count towards your reinforcements.
That's a very good point. I mean, because they've mentioned nothing about NPCs so far, apart from the fact that the missions are going to have NPCs, but they've mentioned nothing about NPCs being integrated with online multiplayer, like Titanfall did. So maybe there will be NPCs. I think it'd be. I think if they include NPCs, it'd be pretty damn awesome.
I would be disappointed if they didn't include them.
Yeah, I think I agree. If they can build upon what Titanfall had and have NPCs, I think that'd be really cool. As long as the AI works. As long as the AI works and it's not terrible. God knows the AI in that is so it's clunky. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's clunky. It's clunky as hell, and it makes attacking enemies quite hard. It's just go on, Django. Yeah, no, they're not. They're not smart AI at all. I think that is everything under the decisions made by EA and DICE. So we move on to the next topic, which is what we're most looking forward to in the game from what we've been shown so far. So what do we what is your favorite feature that's been announced? Not your favorite feature that's not been announced. What's your favorite feature that's been announced so
Flying
far?
the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I am going to put out that you could do that in Renegade Squadron, so it's nothing new, but it will.
Part 3 though.
That is true. That is true. Well, what about you, Django? Favorite feature that's been announced so far?
Well, it's not the. What do you call it? It's not the space battles. It's the.
Atmospheric
It's
battles.
the ground.
Yeah,
atmosphere.
the
air battles.
The Atmos battles. Yeah, the air battles.
Yeah, I think that's a good substitute for the space battles. I mean, I don't think it's too much of a big deal with the space battles not being there anymore, but I think it's a good addition. It looks really good.
Okay. What about you, Nolan?
Breaking the class system and just getting an overall customization system.
That is pretty damn cool. I really want to see how inventive and how innovative they can be with that system, because it does look really, really awesome. Raphael?
It's actually the same with Django, the air battles, because I actually prefer air battles over the space battles because they are more close quarters, more more extreme, and also the power-up systems actually.
Ooh.
Yes,
the battle
yes,
pickups.
the battle pickups. Yeah, I think that's probably the thing I'm most excited for, is to see. Obviously from the announced stuff, I'm most excited about the power-ups. The fact you can have a shield, a jetpack, a rocket launcher, and stuff like that as power-ups. The reason that's probably going to be my favorite features in the game is because they haven't announced all the power-ups yet. So there is a plethora of power-ups waiting to be announced, and I can't wait to find out what they are. And I hope they announce a load of power-ups at E3. I hope they give us a lot of information at E3. Obviously, they've got to hold some back until release, but I hope they announce a load of power-ups, and I hope they build upon the features they've already got at E3, because what we've got already, I am excited about, and I'm sure we are all excited about. What we will not be getting, however, is space battles, galactic conquest, a narrative campaign, and a class system. Now, we've already covered narrative campaign and a class system. We will not be getting galactic conquest. Now, galactic conquest was probably my favourite mode from Battlefront 1 and 2, and I'm sure it was everyone else's. So in Battlefront 1, it gave you the chance to you picked. There was a couple of different pre-made galactic conquests, and you'd either play as Empire or the Rebels, and you'd be able to go and invade planets. And because each planet had 2 maps in Battlefront 1, you'd attack a planet first. If you win that battle, you get to attack that planet again, and you get to play the alternative map for that planet. And then if you win that battle, you actually get that planet. That planet is yours. And that was cool. That was cool because there were I can't remember how many planets there were, but I think there were eight planets per galactic conquest sort of mode, and you basically go around taking all the planets, and then once you've got all the planets, you win. And also, all of the planets had planetary bonuses. So, for instance, one planet would have a Jedi bonus, the other one would have a back-to-tank bonus, the other one would have reinforcement bonuses, and that's really cool. And then they built upon that in Battlefront 2, where you still had different pre-made modes. So you had an Imperial, a Rebels, a CIS, which is Confederation of Independent Systems, and then a Republic one. And then there was a galaxy map, and you could move around the map. You could create fleets, and you could have space battles, of course. If your 2 fleets met above a planet, you could have a space battle. You could go, and then you just go around the galaxy. You move around the galaxy. You could have as many fleets as you want. It was based on a credit system, so you'd buy new units, you'd buy power-ups, and then you could go into battle with your new unit, with your newly bought unit, and try and conquer that planet. And that was really awesome. And the fact that you could, if you saved up your credits, you could just buy fleets on top of each one of your planets, so you could have, I don't know, loads of Star Destroyers. That was really cool. Galactic Conquest was just the ultimate single player mode, and the one thing it was missing was co-op play and online multiplayer, because online multiplayer for Galactic Conquest would have been amazing. And I think it not being included in Battlefront is a huge It's a huge disappointment for me when I found out that it had been confirmed there'd be no Galactic Conquest. I cried. I don't know who else cried. But
we don't know what they've put into the game to replace Galactic Conquest.
This is a very, very good point. We don't know half the game modes that are going to be in the game. In fact, we don't know 95 to 99% of the game modes that can be in the game because the only one they've announced is Walker Assault. So we have no idea what game modes they're going to throw at us. So don't fret, guys. There may be game modes similar to Galactic Conquest, but Galactic Conquest in itself was just utter sheer perfection. In my opinion.
In Battlefront 2, I disagree a little bit. The AI with controlling its fleet is very irritating in the fact that no matter what, it's always going to go out of its way to engage you in a space battle.
Yeah, but AI aside, because AI was always terrible in Battlefront.
AI aside is great.
Galactic Conquest as a mode was awesome, especially when you were playing the Imperial one on Battlefront 1. One of them on Battlefront 1, there was a certain point where you could actually use the Death Star to blow up one of the enemy's planets, and it would just disappear off the map. And that was awesome. So it's just like, oh, which planet do I want to destroy? Yeah, you can lose that one, and boom, it was gone. And
you had to invade them twice and play on 2 different maps.
Yeah, and it was really cool. And I think Galactic Conquest is just something that's gonna be missed. However, I think the thing that has really split the community in half is the fact that there will not be any space battles included in the game. Now, Nolan, you have 3 minutes to run about why people have been just rant about the subject of the negativity on the game. So I'm going to count you down from 10, and then from then onwards, when I shout go, you can rant. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Run away.
Probably wasn't a good idea for Johnny to give this one to me because I don't give any shits on who I offend when talking about this topic. So some of you people who don't like the fact that there are no space battles in the new Battlefront game can go fuck yourselves because you're seriously just fucking idiots. The space battles that were in Battlefront 2, granted they were fun to play, were absolutely awful. They were utter trash. All the maps were basically the same thing with a slightly altered layout. And if you think that each one of those was its own special thing and that they took time to handcraft each individual space battle, you're a fucking idiot. Because they didn't. That was a feature they probably threw in within the last 3 weeks of game development and went, hey, we can do this now with this one. What you really want to see is the atmospheric combat that they did in Battlefront 1 with Bespin platforms, because that was engaging, that was fun, that was close quarters, that was something that a lot of people enjoyed doing, whereas in Battlefront 2, they got very repetitive after time, and people, like myself, started to enjoy the space battles less and less. So when you're playing Galactic Conquest, and each and every time the AI goes out of its way to engage you in a space battle, and you're playing 20 to 30 space battles per Galactic Conquest, you're not really having fun anymore. And that's my opinion on that. And if they did include Space to Ground, there's so many other problems that they would have created when creating Space to Ground, like an issue of how long it would take to get from space to the ground, and how ineffective that would be as compared to if everything's happening in the atmosphere. It would be much easier to get from the atmosphere to the ground and help out your troops there. So I'm really not upset by the fact that there are no space battles in the game, especially because for them to do that, they would have to take so much development time to put in to creating the space battles, and they didn't have that for this one. They had to create the Battlefront engine, every single asset for Star Wars, because with Battlefield, they could just transition year to year and use like the same AK model, maybe like the same player models and stuff. They had to create all new player models, all new vehicle models, weapon models, everything for this Battlefront game. And trying to throw in space battles on top of that is just too much for the limited amount of development time they had. We may see the next Star Wars Battlefront have space battles, but I'm not offended that they didn't put them in this one.
That's impressive. 2.5 minutes.
Wow.
He had 3 minutes. He did it in 2.5.
Damn,
that was impressive,
son.
Nolan. Well played. If you want to hear more about Nolan's rant, he does have a 2-part rant on people's negativity towards Battlefront on his channel, and I do want to point out he is not sponsored by EA. None of us are sponsored by EA, so we are just solely excited for the game, and we have very valid and informed opinions about the community's negativity towards the game. So, if you want to take us on, go for it. I mean, we will happily spar with you, but...
I mean, what I think is it's 99% of the community is okay with everything that they've announced for Star Wars Battlefront, but it's just that 1% of assholes who are really speaking out and making it seem like the community absolutely hates DICE.
Indeed. So, we shall move on to some new topics. So, is there anything else you want to touch upon, Tom?
Well, not really. That's all the news we know so far about the game. Just that we need to wait and see for E3 and later on in the year for another event, or maybe, just a random day they choose to release something about the game. Just to wait and see what else they have actually implemented in there and what they haven't shown us yet. Because again, like you said, this is a really, really small snippet of what we can expect from the game. And I'm just really interested in seeing what else they've got for us, and it'd be really cool if they were to actually tell us some stuff about the game, but then hold back one tiny little detail or one really cool detail for the release of the game. So when we all go to play it, it's there, and we're like, what's this? And it's like, oh yeah, that's so cool.
Like how they announced Admiral Akbar is going to be in the game, but they said there's not going to be space battles. The only time we really see Admiral Akbar is in a space battle.
Yeah, but it's, again, I don't think the game's supposed to be completely canonical. Yeah. So, I think that's how Admiral Akbar... Come on, who doesn't want to run around playing as Admiral Akbar
it's a trap.
With a blaster going, it's a trap! It's a trap! That's pretty cool. The thing I really want to do is run around as a Jawa just going, Houdini! That is what I want to do in Battlefront. I want to run around as a Jawa with a little gun or whatever blaster they have, just running around going, Houdini, Houdini, Houdini. That's just
shocking people.
That's just hilarious. It's just hilarious. I mean, that's the kind of thing I want to do. Is there any other specific indigenous creature that anyone wants to play with or play as in Battlefront?
Gungans.
Toydarian.
Oh no.
Playing as Wampas would be interesting.
I want to play as a Tauntaun.
You want to ride a Tauntaun, Nolan?
No, play as one.
Right.
No, I don't see how playing as a Tauntaun would work because they're not very vicious creatures.
You can be a vehicle.
That's what. So you get inside the Tauntaun and then you just. So all the characters have the ability to get a lightsaber out, open up the Tauntaun, get inside it, seal it back up, and then run around as a Tauntaun.
Yes, and the Tauntaun has lasers for eyes.
What the hell?
That's sick, man.
Oh man, someone that's okay. If there is a modding ability in the game, there's something for the modding community to do. You got to do that. You got to make it so Tauntauns are vehicles, controllable vehicles, playable vehicles that shoot lasers from their eyes. There's
My Little Pony mod or something.
Well, let's not get My Little Pony involved, because then shit just really does get crazy.
Alright, so I want to get your guys' opinion on something. I know me and Johnny have talked about this, and I'll let Johnny explain what it is, because you guys will probably be very confused if I just bring this up, but I want to know what you guys think of Super Tight Butthole Mode.
Okay, so if you guys haven't watched Wishlist Wednesdays, you wouldn't know what Super Tight Butthole Mode is. We have Fly Stern, one of our subscribers, to thank for this one. So Super Tight Butthole Mode is, if I can remember it properly, it is a 5v5 mode where everyone plays as Jedi or heroes, and then the rest of it is NPCs. I think I'm right in that, Nolan. Am I right?
It's either that or 5v5 heroes versus villains, something like that.
Yeah, it's 5v5 heroes versus, or it's 5 villains versus 5 heroes, and then the rest of it is NPCs.
I think we added in the NPCs part.
No. I think the NPCs was actually in there. I think if you read the comment again, the NPCs were actually in there. But the thing I added was that it'd be cool if this was a mode where it had an elimination thing to it. So you could kill if you killed each other. That's it. You're dead. That's it for that round. But you can go around killing the NPCs to rack up points, which is a really interesting mode. And of course, it would be called Super Tight Butthole mode. Unfortunately, DICE probably won't give us the
satisfaction.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. They won't give us the satisfaction of calling any mode Super Tight Butthole mode. But there's another one for you guys. There's another one for the modders. Seeing as we're delving into Wishlist Wednesdays territory, Nolan, do you think we should do a little mini episode of Wishlist Wednesdays with the 5 Battlefront members right here, right now?
After we get their opinions.
Right now.
Yeah, we should do it now. We should do it now.
They still haven't given us their opinions on Super Tight Butthole mode.
Oh, that's true.
Wait, guys. Why did you guys call it Super Tight Butthole mode?
That was his name.
Okay, that was Fly Stern's name for the game mode. We didn't call it Super Tight Butthole mode.
Because you'd be Obi-Wan Kenobi tearing that ass up.
Yeah, that is what he put in the... That's what he put in the comments. So yeah. So what are your opinions on Super Tight Butthole mode? Remember, it's a 5v5. Everyone plays as heroes or villains, and the rest are NPCs. And so, what do people think?
Sounds cool.
Certainly interesting.
Sounds pretty tight, bro.
Yeah. It sounds extremely tight. It sounds super tight.
Such a good name.
But yeah, Nolan, do you think we should do a little mini episode of Wishlist Wednesdays in this podcast?
Alright, we'll do a short mini episode.
We'll do a short mini episode. Guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is? Saturday!
It's Saturday! It's Wishlist Saturdays. Welcome to a special episode of Wishlist Saturdays, where me and Nolan ask the Battlefront Network members, including ourselves, about features they want to see in Star Wars Battlefront, and then we tear them a new arsehole. The features, that is, not the Battlefront Network members. So, Nolan, I will throw it over to you, and you can basically ask away.
Alright, let's start it off with Mr. Max Kydra. What would you like to see in the new Star Wars Battlefront game?
I would like to see the ability to play as a Gungan while killing Ewoks.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay, Nolan, let's discuss the eligibility of this actually happening within the game. So first off, Gungans versus Ewoks. Ewoks we probably will see. Gungans, on the other hand, we probably won't because of the whole prequel era thing not being included in the game. What are your thoughts on this one, Nolan?
Well, if we delve past the surface of just Gungans versus Ewoks, and we take it at more than face value as the native species of one planet versus the native species of another planet, that's a pretty interesting idea. So maybe we could have Wampas versus Tusken Raiders at some point in this new Battlefront game, because we know that those are going to be two planetary species in the game. Or we could have Ewoks versus Jawas, the Battle of the Star Wars Midgets. And
yes,
I think that would be pretty fun to do. What do you think, Johnny?
I'd love to have Jawas versus Ewoks. And the question I have for the subscribers is, who are you? Are you Team Jawa? Or are you Team Ewok? Post in the comments below. Are you Team Jawa or Team Ewok? I personally Team Jawa, and of course I want to run around going Utini. I don't know what noise the Ewoks make. Somebody make an Ewok noise. Yeah. So you can either go around shouting Utini or run around singing Yub Nub. And you just run around going Yub Nub.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Raphael. So, since this is a mini episode, we have to go through it quickly. And Johnny, what is your rating on the Force scale for Raphael's idea?
On the first scale for Raphael's idea, looking past it at face value, I'm going to say 3, which is...
Don't underestimate the Force.
So I'm going to give it a don't underestimate the Force at a 3 out of 5. What about you, Nolan?
I am going to give it a...
The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded.
At a 2, just for the sheer fact that I don't really think we'd see it. It's an awesome idea, but I don't think we'll see it.
Okay. Tom, we'll move on to your feature, the Wishlist Saturdays.
Put me on the spot here.
You knew it was going to happen. Alright, we'll give you a minute to think. Django, you're up.
Yeah. Alright. God. I guess
Something
hero mode?
A hero mode, what? Can you be more specific, Django?
Well,
like the hero
from
mode we saw in Battlefront 2? Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, so similar to
Nothing
super
too
tight butthole mode, but without the NPCs. Okay, so this is slightly tight butthole mode, not super tight butthole mode, basically. Nolan, I'm gonna let you kick this one off.
Alright, slightly tight butthole mode. It will be heroes versus villains, and, well, it all depends on the amount of heroes and villains that we see announced before the game comes out, because if there is, let's say, 3 heroes and 3 villains, then I don't think the game mode seems very likely. But if there's, let's say, 7 and 7, then it's a lot more likely. And they did announce...
I'd be thoroughly pissed off.
Yes.
I'd be thoroughly pissed off if
We
there
would
were
all be
only
thoroughly pissed off.
3 villains and 3 heroes. I'm expecting at least 20...
6.
No, I'm
At least
expecting
6
at least...
each. And then you add on DLC.
6 each would be good. And then DLC... Yeah, but I think there might be more than that. But no, I think 6 each is probably best because it's 1 per map. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with Nolan. I think this would be a fun idea, but only if there are enough heroes. Force rating scale.
No, you didn't let me add something. So we did get hinted when they announced about player size. They did announce that there was a game mode that was 8v8, if I'm not mistaken, and something that close. I'm pretty sure it was like 8 heroes and villains in the Battlefront 2 version. So maybe we could see it.
Maybe it's
Maybe
Gungans
we could.
versus Ewoks.
Maybe it's
It
Gungans
could be
versus
Guns
Ewoks.
versus yes.
I'm still for Jawas versus Ewoks. What, Teeny? Anyway, force rating scale. Nolan, go.
You put me on the spot here. Just because I can, I'm going to say.
May the force be with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 as well, which is a.
May the force be with you.
We will move on to Tom. Hello. In this episode of Wishlist Saturdays, what is your feature, good sir?
Well,
Mega tight
I was
butthole mode.
thinking, do you know those Easter eggs that they had on Battlefield 4 with the great big Megalodon shot?
Yes.
I was thinking maybe they could include Easter eggs in Battlefront like that. Like a giant Jar Jar Binks coming from the sea.
Oh god, no.
Or the sand.
Oh dear God.
I don't know.
Or a
What's
Rancor.
the Easter eggs
Shit out
though?
of everybody.
Can you
Yeah, a Rancor.
Can you think of
Something
any
like
like Easter eggs you'd like to see?
What no one said a Rancor. I don't know. Something like that.
So you're just talking
You would-
like
you would like
giant
a Rancor.
versions of things
Yeah.
as Easter eggs. Okay.
Yeah.
So
or-
I'll take this idea and run with it a little bit for you, Tom. So we don't
go
have to
for
put
it,
you on
Nolan.
the spot as much. I'm good with BSing things for these wish list Saturday episodes. So basically, advancing off of Tom's thing of a giant Jar Jar Binks coming out of the ocean, in Naboo we did see those gigantic fish things, and maybe those pop out of the ocean every now and again if we ever find a Naboo map. And then, like, let's say there's a Jabba's Palace map, you can fall into the Rancor pit. Just giant things that are in the Star Wars universe that we most likely didn't think we would see in a Battlefront game, or maybe even like a Wampa coming out and grabbing you on Hoth, something like that.
That'd be cool.
Just
So
those types of things, little Easter eggs things that have happened in Star Wars Battlefront, creatures that are there that we didn't think were going to be in the game. I think it's kind of likely.
I think it's likely. I want to see Wampas. I want to see a Rancor, and I definitely want to see a Sarlacc pit.
Yes.
I want to see a Sarlacc pit. I want to see a Sarlacc pit that worked the way it did in Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2.
I really want a
because-
Dune Sea map.
There was
Yeah,
no
Dune-
there was no Sarlacc pit in Battlefront 2.
That's true. I was just about to correct myself. Dune Sea map was only in Battlefront 1, but I'm just glad the Sarlacc pit worked, because if you stood by that thing, it would grab you and eat you. That was awesome. That was cool.
Now moving on to the 4 scale rating, Johnny. What are you going to give this on the 4
I'm
scale?
going to give this one a 4 out of 5 again. It is a...
May the force be with you.
What about you, Nolan?
Force is strong in this one.
It's a 5!
Oh, he's giving it 5!
Just because I feel like there will be some sort of interactive element in Star Wars Battlefront that will be kind of Easter eggy, something that will hint to things that happened in the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy that will be part of the game that we didn't really think would happen.
Fair enough.
Wait. Guys, imagine imagine an Easter egg where the planet you're playing on gets destroyed by the Death Star.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
Just like a 1
And
in
the match
3,000
suddenly
game
ends.
chance that your planet will be destroyed by the Death Star.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
Something
cool.
like that.
Or maybe that's an end game thing. If the rebels win and the Empire loses, Death Star's just like, fuck it, we'll blow it up anyway.
Now imagine if it's an Easter egg, like nobody was expecting it.
That'd be
Suddenly.
cool. That'd be cool. But now you've told them, they're all expecting it now, Raphael.
I'm expecting
God
it.
damn
I'll be
it.
thoroughly disappointed if it's not there.
Yeah, I know, me too. So that has been a special episode of Wishlist Saturdays. I've been Carvin.
I'm Nolan.
Nolan's been Nolan. And we'll see you on Wednesday for the actual Wishlist Wednesdays. So moving back into the podcast, I think Tom wants to touch upon comments from the developers. So we'll touch upon that.
Well, hey.
Go for it, Tom.
Well, in a recent Xbox magazine that was actually released, an interviewee that was at the Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim actually had a few questions to ask Nicholas Fegrius, the design director on Star Wars Battlefront. Now we have 3 of those questions out of many other ones, but these ones seem to speak volume to myself. I'm not sure about the other ones, you can see them on the screen if you've got them up there. But the first one is, how does that feature, heroes and villains that is, work? How will fans actually get to play as those iconic characters? Now of course we've seen Darth Vader and Boba Fett so far, be playable characters in Star Wars Battlefront. Yay! Thank goodness for that. But the design director Nicholas Fegrius had to say, well, it has variations to it that depend on game modes and so on. But you can get it through a power-up system. And we know that since we have seen the actual deployable shield, which is a power-up as well. So it looks like we'll be able to get these heroes and villains by finding a power-up on the map somewhere or achieving it through doing something when you find the hero power-up. That is when you can make your own choice. You basically have 1 life to use all that power. You get to try and turn the tide and win for your team and become a beacon of hope for everyone. So the heroes, or the villains, basically, what I've heard from developers, said that they are basically going to be the boss of the game for a limited amount of time. And the other players have got to try and, on the enemy team, have got to try and kill that player. So that's going to be really interesting.
Also,
and I think,
no, go on.
Yeah, and I think that Darth Vader has some powers of being able to force choke and deflect blaster shots.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Just imagine him going around with his hands, just like, no, 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 no. You know, just like,
yeah, exactly.
Terrible joke. But I also want to add upon something that Nick has said during the celebration. Yeah, when I was there. The heroes will be the biggest power up, so they are more powerful than getting an ATST as a power up. The hero is the highest tier of power up you can get because they will turn the tide on the battlefield. It does mean you can go through hack and slash through everyone, but it doesn't mean they're not killable. But it does mean that the hero will be the highest tier of power up, and I can confirm that much. I think I still like Raphael's idea about the Death Star blowing up a planet. That should be a power up. That should be a power up.
Yes, please.
But anyway, let's move on to the next one. Go for it, Tom.
Well, the next question by the same interviewee was, does Battlefront's multiplayer focus come at the cost of providing a fulfilling experience for fans who prefer to play solo and offline? So, since we know that there's going to be no campaign, no narrative campaign, and instead Battlefront missions, he's wondering whether that will affect, all the fans who want to play the campaign and prefer that kind of stuff. So Nicholas had to say, Star Wars Battlefront is first and foremost a multiplayer game, but we do offer what we call missions, an offline component that allows players to basically jump into these crafted challenges where they can play either alone or with a friend cooperatively online or split screen. These missions offer challenges that are inspired by the films, and they also focus on replayability. You can just jump in and play, or you can turn up the difficulty to get a real challenge and try to beat the hardest things. So it was mentioned that there will be AI within these Battlefront missions who will be acting as the cast, if you like, in the Star Wars films, and you get to play these iconic moments. That'd be really interesting. And since he mentioned there that the actual game is going to be a multiplayer-focused game, we know that from the Battlefield franchise, that is more of a multiplayer-based game, and Battlefront as well. So it's not surprising they're going down this route, but I was expecting more of a narrative side to the game, but apparently not.
Okay, does anyone else have anything to add to that?
No.
Not really.
No. Okay, that's a resounding no. So let's move on to the last question from this comments from the developers section. Go for it, Tom.
Okay, the last and final one from the same interviewee is, what are you hoping to convey to potential fans with Battlefront's first gameplay reveal? And he had to say, basically this vision we have for the game, which is to let players create their own Star Wars battle fantasies. The way they want to do that is to make sure that the world we've created is super authentic and super immersive. It's important for us that we pay respect to the universe and create it right.
And from what we've seen so far, I'm pretty happy with what they're doing. I think every map we've seen, or every glimpse of every map we've seen. Of course, I've seen Endor a little more in depth because the gameplay reveal that they showed us was on Endor. But everything we've seen so far, it looks immersive. It looks like what it does in the films. I've been quite impressed by it. Well, what about everyone else? Well, what is everyone else's thoughts on that?
Very realistic.
Yeah, what about you, Nolan? Yeah?
It looks very immersive.
Yep, Django?
Very
Unique. Okay, yeah, so comments from the developers. They're glad that Nicholas took the time to actually talk to Xbox Magazine about this stuff, and it's good to know that they're still very passionate about the project, even though all the negativity has come from the fans. They're not letting that get them down, which is the professional thing to do. And I'm sure they'll win all the fans back at E3. I've been telling people time and time again that you should not judge a game on its cover. What we've seen is only a snippet of the game, and what we'll see at E3 will be a lot more in depth and a lot more. There'll just be a lot more there. So people jump into conclusions because there's only been a cinematic trailer. I think you guys should just sit it out and wait for E3. But I mean that's my opinion. Of course, you guys are all entitled to your own opinions. They're all valid, but coming from someone who's a huge Battlefront fan, and I'm sure everyone else here will back me up in saying that we should wait until E3 because big things are going to happen at E3.
Indeed.
And on that bombshell, that has been the first episode of the official Alliance podcast. So I have been wow, Raphael, have you not wanted to be here? Have you not wanted to be here, Raphael?
No, like we had
the
like
first
what,
episode.
thousands of attempts.
That's true. We are what, 5th or 6th attempt in 4 months?
Wait, was I supposed to press the record button?
Oh god damn it!
Please tell me
I'm pretty sure everyone hit record this time, and I'm pretty sure everyone is going to hit save immediately after we end the podcast. So it's up to me to close this. It's up to me to close this one down now. So I've been your host, Carbon Shadow, and everyone else has been a member of the Battlefront Network. So it's bye from Tom.
Hello, bye.
It's bye from Django.
Bye-bye.
It's bye from Raphael.
Bye-bye.
And it's bye from the other prick.
Bye.
Sorry, it's bye from Nolan, guys. It's a resounding goodbye from all of us, and we will see you on the next one, guys. Have a good one.
I love you.
See you.
The official Alliance Podcast. The Alliance Podcast. By the community, for the community. Brought to you by the Battlefront Network.